Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on three. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fresh Take from What Fresh Hell, Laughing in the Face of Motherhood. This is Margaret.
And this is Amy. Today we're talking to Sophie Lucido Johnson. She is a Chicago-based author and artist who publishes cartoons in The New Yorker and writes the best-selling Substack newsletter, You Are Doing a Good Enough Job. Today we'll be talking about Sophie's latest book, Kin, The Future of Family. Welcome, Sophie.
Thanks for having me. So happy to be here.
So let's start with the title. What is kin?
I wanted to find some language for the type of relationship that is more than a friendship, but, isn't your blood family or your spouse. So we talk a lot about family, and often there are people in your family who you choose, you're not married to, or who are outside the classic definition of family. So I'm proposing kin. It has a lot of etymological, interesting background, but I like this word. It's tidy and neat, and it sort of can describe these really close friendships that this book is sort of about nurturing and building those relationships.
It seems to me that's true, very true in certain cultures that, like, I'm thinking of like aunties and
yes.
In certain cultures that you have many aunts because you have many mothers or you have many maternal figures in your life, and that there are words, or I have, my kids have friends who are Chilean and they call them their primos, which is like your cousin, but it's more than your cousin. There's words for these, it seems to me, in non-American cultures that think about this stuff as being very fluid and open.
Western culture is behind. There are tons of cultures all over the world. Many of them live in America and all over the world that are living in sort of non-nuclear family configurations. Not to say that if you live in what you consider a nuclear family configuration, that anything is wrong with that choice. It's just to say, how can we bring more people into our families? Animals do this, and people have been doing it for ever since people have existed. So yes, you're absolutely right, Amy. That is true. To put it bluntly, this is a white person problem, and we need to do better for ourselves and for our children. And it's important for us to have more people, and we're so walled off. Not everyone, but so many of us are so walled off.
I feel like this is an idea that we're always flirting with culturally.
Mm-hmm.
My generation might have been like Friendsgiving and then, rosé flowing with my chosen family. Like, you hear these ideas, but it's somehow like we have trouble maybe getting the roots down on these ideas.
Yeah, right. Friendsgiving is a perfect example. And I will say that chosen family as a concept has actually grown quite a bit in the last 10 or 15 years. It is more in the vernacular than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. And you're right. I think the reason why we haven't been able to get this into the root system of how we live has to do with a lack of realistic models of what it can look like and a lack of language around it. And this is something that I think there are lots of little things, little tweaks that most people can make to bring more people into their life. For example, think of 3 people with whom you'd like to share like a Costco membership. That it's this is like a small thing, but sharing a resource like a Costco membership or a lawnmower or, something where it's expensive. And if you can have just one and everyone's sharing, you spend more time with each other and also you're, co-invested in a resource. It's such a tiny little thing. But what are the things that we can share physically? That's an easy tweak. Or for example, I think that a lot of people, I'm going to include myself, really like to make plans like, when are you free? I don't know. I think I have some time, a week from Wednesday. Let's get it on the calendar. Then the week from Wednesday comes. I have to cancel with you. I'm so sorry. Like a bunch of stuff has come up at work. No problem. Let's figure it out later. I mean, I don't know if this is familiar to you. It just happens to me all the time where.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Until you die.
Until you die.
You postpone plans until you die.
To sort of adjust that, one thing to do would be if you have errands to run, can you invite a friend to do the errand with you instead of sitting and having mimosas or having a long lunch or needing to set aside 2 hours? Or if you're in your friend's neighborhood, could you just stop by? Like just text, I'm in the neighborhood. I just want to say hi, like 5 minutes. That usually will lead to getting to spend time with people more than these sort of like elegant plans that we build and then disassemble. And that leads to you being able to see your friends when they're messy. And that's essential. Like we're all messy, but we want to look clean to our friends. It's not really how people are. We're all afraid.
I've always wondered about that. I've always yearned for the sitcom friend, like not coming, the person across the hall, the person next door, right? And I guess it's based on a real thing, but it's not something that most of us have in real life. The drop by thing. I live in New York City and people don't do it.
Those friendships, the ones you're describing, are often like people in their 20s and 30s who don't have kids, right? Like kids changes it because now you're just having to do 10 million things at one time. And there's no time to figure out how to create a drop-in situation. You maybe have moved for your job or your partner or like to live somewhere where it's best for your kids. And now you're just, your show's title. It's just like suddenly you're in a hellscape and it's how do you develop that kind of rapport with people? It's just not top of mind because we think of that as like, that's fun. It's fun to have friends. But I think I'm proposing like, no, it's essential. And also our children need to see us having friends because this is how we build community. So, but it feels impossible. I mean, I don't know. I have only one kid. I don't know how.
I think when you have young children, it's actually, you can lean into kinship a little bit more. I remember having preschoolers and, preschool aged kids, of which I had 3 at the same time. And I couldn't go to the park by myself. I mean, I could if it was gated and whatever, but I sought out the village so much. Or even at the park, I'd be like, hey, here's my name. Would you help me watch my kid? Like, there was a sense of, I needed that community so badly when I had little kids that it became kind of natural to me that like all the neighbors, I knew them all. And if you see my kid and this and that. And now that I have teenagers, I can feel that disappearing. Like my teens are out doing their own thing and I'm so much more isolated than when I had little ones.
I used to walk my kids to school every morning and walk in and say hello to the teacher that was there to greet them. And we could take our kids up to the preschool classroom and hang out, until the cleanup bell rang. And I mean, that 15 minutes in the doorway of the preschool classroom with the same women for 7 years, and men, but mostly women, I developed very strong relationships that exist to this day. But now I see those women every 6 months instead of every weekday.
Yeah, I think that is so typical too. And I'm still in the early stages of parenthood. My kid is 4. She's turning 4 tomorrow. But for this book, I interviewed a lot of people who are in all different stages of having children or being grown-ups. And I learned that we really do need the village the whole way through. I mean, especially with teenagers. Teenagers are a whole new creature, and we need each other just as much. One group that I talked to, or one group I became familiar with, were these women who, one of the women, her son died when he was 19. And she was so bereft that she didn't know what to do. She had a lot of sisters, and they decided, well, let's just meet every morning at 6:30 on your porch, and we'll just have coffee and we'll pray. I mean, this is They belonged to a Catholic church. It wasn't enough. And so they started to gather and talk about the son that died, and they started to read poems. And then another person heard about it, and her daughter had died. So she started to come to the porch, the prayer porch. And then it was just people who needed other people, like maybe somebody was sick, maybe somebody was going through a really tough job transition, and more people started coming. 6:30 is a very early time, but when you can't sleep because you're going through something, you're up.
Right. Might as well head to the porch.
Might as well head to the porch. And seeing these women, and I'm really in touch with a lot of them, mostly between the ages of 60 and 80. And, a few men. Again, it is mostly women, and that's a conversation. But seeing these women who are so close, their friendship is so close. It's now been over a decade since the son died, and they take care of each, just at the drop of a hat, they take care of each other. Anything goes wrong. It could be small, it could be big. They're doing a meal train. They're going to each other's houses. They have a whole long roster of where everybody lives. And I mean, it sucks that it was a tragedy that made this come into being. But again, I think this is available to people. And it's heartening to me because I do see a lot, like my mom is she's much older and she has very few connections. And she said that's inevitable. Like you just lose connections as you get older. The research does back that up. That as you get older, you'll have fewer friendships. But seeing these people, these women mostly nurturing these friendships in older age, and also, with their children, I am really feeling like heartened. This is possible and robust, and the care is just so thick. It's really beautiful to bear witness to.
It seems not coincidental, though, right? That this is work that women are more likely to do, more likely to maybe want to do, see the need to doing. We've talked about king keeping on this podcast and how that is, first of all, important work, but it tends to be work done by women and therefore it's devalued. So what did you find in your research about that connection?
It's absolutely true. It's, emotional labor so often falls on women. I think one of the things I found is that men really suffer because of that. Like we think of that as, it's devalued, absolutely. But also it's a real gift to be able to help and take care of people. Caretaking feels really good. And that men and boys are miserable so often, like so miserable, very lonely, feel like don't have the tools to connect, where women can really slide into that. So all the research sort of backs that up, that men are suffering. And if we're building kin, it needs to be something where men are brought in to the conversation, because not just because there's so much work to do, because there is, absolutely. And it is hard, but just so that also they can feel a sense of purpose and belonging. And caretaking is it. There's not anything. The other thing is capitalism, and we invented that. Caretaking is the work of the animal self. And that's that ultimately, at the end of the world, that's what there is. And it's like, we all deserve to feel that with each other. It's really, really essential actually these women on the prayer porch, they get very old, and I don't think it's accidental. Like they work through sicknesses, and there's people on the porch who are cresting at towards 100. It contributes to longevity, and study after study shows that people who live in close-knit communities live much longer. Nothing helps you live longer than being in community with people. Loneliness is really, really dangerous. So I don't know. I feel for men, honestly. It sucks to not be able to connect. They got to work on it. they got to work on it.
We're talking to Sophie Lucido Johnson about her new book, Kin, The Future of Family, and we'll be right back. Hellions, it's time for some spring cleaning, and I don't just mean the coat closets. Doing your financial spring cleaning can actually be super easy when you let Monarch do your financial spring cleaning for you. One dashboard that gets your entire financial life organized. No more clutter, no more mess, no more logins scattered everywhere, just accounts, investments, property, and more, all in one place. Get your first year of Monarch for half off, just $50 with promo code FRESH. Monarch allows you to look not only at what you've already spent, but also to plan for the future. With Monarch, you can set savings goals, plan for big purchases, and notice spending trends before they become a problem. I can generate cash flow reports that show me what we spent this quarter, this month, what we're probably going to spend next month, and feel prepared, organized, and knowing how to plan for the future. No more surprises and a lot more clarity. try Monarch. Use code FRESH at monarch.com to get your first year half off at just $50. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code FRESH.
Amy, when I'm having a good hair day, it usually makes my whole day better. And that's why on every day, I'm taking Nutrafol.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, and it's the #1 hair growth supplement brand personally used by dermatologists. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements are peer-reviewed, NSF certified for sport, and clinically tested.
Nutrafol offers multiple formulas for men and women, tailored to different life stages and lifestyle factors, so you get support that's actually right for you. Adding Nutrafol to your daily routine is easy. Order online, no prescription needed, with automated deliveries and free shipping to keep you on track.
Let your hair be one less thing to worry about. See visibly thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair in 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you visit Nutrafol.com and enter promo code LAUGHING.
That's Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code LAUGHING.
You know that thing where you get an amazing pair of shoes at a really great price and want to tell everyone about it? Yeah, so do we. Here at Designer Shoe Warehouse, we'll give you something to brag about, like the latest styles from brands you love, or the trends everyone's obsessing over, or shoes that make you feel like, well, you. So go ahead, show off a little. Find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. Head to your DSW store or DSW.com today. DSW, let us surprise you.
So, like a lot of books that we talk about, there's a COVID-19 aspect to this work. A lot of people, we talk to are like, well, I was doing this work and then OMG, pandemic, everything I'm saying is 10 times more true. So talk about the role of how COVID-19 revealed some of this disconnect and loneliness that's at the center of so many people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this book came because of COVID and honestly, just because I was really lucky. And when COVID hit, my husband and I were living with another couple, which is really unusual. We all had full-time jobs. We were in our late 30s, like 35 plus. And my husband and I had been wanting to co-live. We had been experimenting with co-living with people. We didn't want it to be like a commune situation, just sort of like we have a big house and my friends, Bethany and Brett is a doctor and Bethany worked at the high school where I also worked. And we had shared a classroom and they needed a place to live. So it was supposed to be maybe sort of short term. We were all interested in talking about having children and we were all living together when the pandemic hit. And we found that we were doing just a lot better. And I think you'll hear that from people who were podded in a way or like had pods that were really functional. It was really working for us. And COVID is the worst thing that's happened in any of our lifetimes, probably for sure.
Those listening anyway, right?
For those listening. I mean, right. That's a good distinction. It was a really nice time for me and in our house. We had a really lovely, nice, slow life. So this made me think, and I had been researching different types of relationship structures for about a decade. Are there ways that people who live in single family homes and are in sort of a nuclear configuration can just adjust a little bit to access some of this ease? That's the word, like ease. Because, okay, we're sharing dinner. That's really nice. Can more people share dinner in a way that doesn't feel like a dinner party or you're hosting?
Right.
Can you not be hosting? Can you be integrating? So it's just a pattern. And then I thought, I'm sure people are doing this. And yeah, people are doing it. There's people who are doing all different kinds of cooperating, co-living, co-parenting. I met a lot of people who are raising children in ways that you just don't see on television. And it's working. So why aren't we seeing it? Like sisters who are raising a kid together or 3 or 4 parents for 2 kids in one home. People talk about, I don't know how people raise a kid, just 2 people or just 1 person, because once you have all the hands on deck, you're like, well, this is a lot of work. How are people doing this with just 1 or 2 people? And when you look at the biology around it, of course, you've heard this a million times, like it takes a village, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's just not another species in the primate universe that does this like two parents, one parent and a kid or multiple kids. It's just not how animals raise kids.
Even a generation ago, my mother grew up in a two-family home in the Bronx where everybody coming over from Ireland, they lived on the same block, basically. Like, that's how we formed, right? Chinatown and all the different areas, because everybody from the area or the village moved to the same street and they were doing the village again. But in two generations, that's kind of fallen away. Like, we just don't have
sidewalks, right? Let alone neighborhoods where we live next door to each other.
And one of the things that they talk about that I would have never thought about is air conditioning changed that a lot. There was no air conditioning. Everybody was out on the street all the time because it was too hot to be inside. So you're like, little Jimmy Reardon, go back. You're not supposed to be out. I know you're grounded. Like, everybody knew each other's business. Then everybody got air conditioning and they suddenly went inside their own houses. And just the disconnects happen in such odd ways that we don't see coming, you know?
I mean, absolutely. And the immigrant experience, it necessitates community. And so that you'll still see that all over the country. People who have immigrated to the United States are still living in community living situations that are different than the ones that people who are white and have lived in America for many generations are experiencing. And they report, in terms of their experience living, like much higher levels of happiness and satisfaction. And this is like Pew Research poll after Pew Research poll shows that when people are living in especially multi-generational communities, and it's usually immigrant families, that the satisfaction of living is higher. And in terms of what caused this, air conditioning, yes, also bicycles, also cars, because it didn't used to be easy to move off of your block, period, like, or to get from one house to a house far away. And so there you saw lots of shifts around that. The Industrial Revolution is the main thing, mostly. And this is not to advocate in any way for like going back to
to tenements and
farm living.
Guys, we're not doing it. We're not giving up the dishwasher. No.
No, but it is interesting sociologically to think about the change that happened in the late 1800s, where suddenly we have industrialization and people started moving to cities because there were jobs in cities. People started getting married much, much younger because they were lonely and they used to live with their families, and now they were all alone. So you saw people getting married now at 19 and 20 instead of 25, 26 in the early 1800s, and having kids earlier. And then then you're basically a child living in a little house. As time goes on, as we like move into World War II, post-Great Depression, we're getting a lot of like, the nuclear family has a lot of promises for you. And you're going to be look at how beautiful and shiny this family is, and this fence and this yard, and all of this can just be yours. You can have all of it. You can have your own vacuum cleaner. You can have your own dishwasher. You can have all of, because air conditioning and appliances like vacuum cleaners, dishwashers made what a clean house could look like just a much higher bar. And it was quote unquote more accessible. Now you're making women just do impossible feats of labor, and you can take pictures of it and say, look, it's possible. You can have this. Your wife can make your house look like this. All you need to do is buy this machine and it will help you with it. I mean, it happened in waves of industrialization, and now we're all really lonely and overwhelmed and like, oh God, if I ever have time to vacuum, that's incredible. I would love to have time to vacuum.
I never really thought about even the house labor. I mean, when I was little, we still had a clothesline out back. We had a dryer, but my mom would put stuff out on the clothesline to dry. My husband grew up with one grandmother living on one side of him and the other grandmother living on the other side, like 3 houses in a row with a shared backyard, and you'd have a clothesline out there, or you're beating the carpet out there, right? This was all stuff that was happening 100 years ago and not anymore. And you're inside vacuuming with the air conditioner going, and you don't see people. There was a name for it, like a micro interaction.
Yeah.
Marley Bower is a loneliness researcher, and she's like, it's the micro interactions that we all lost during the pandemic.
Oh, yes. I mean, this happened to me this weekend, and I just was thinking about it today, like how joyful it was. I needed a bundt pan. Where was my bundt pan? I could not find it. I was making an important bread. Like it needed a bundt pan. It was crucial. I looked everywhere. I texted my husband, do you know where this bundt pan is? Of course, he doesn't even know what a bundt pan is. So
Right.
let alone
He's
where
like,
it is.
let's back that question up. What is a bundt pan?
There is a previous version of me, and I'm a millennial, that would have been like, I bet I can get this on 1 day shipping. Like, I bet I can just get a bundt pan like really, really fast. Maybe even same day now. Like just Amazon, I'll bet it's like $15 and then I'll have it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just took a breath and thought, someone in my neighborhood has a bundt pan. There's just no question. I have my neighbors' numbers. Like that is something I've been very intentional about. And, you can do that in condos. Wherever you live, you can gather the phone numbers of your neighbors. Really important. And I just sent a text to everybody who is 2 houses away from me. Does anyone have a bundt pan? Everyone had one. Everyone had one.
Somewhere. Right.
Michelle across the street said, come on out. Like she was just standing on the sidewalk across the street with her bundt pan. It might be a little dusty, she said, but I don't need it. And then we got to talk about our kids. And then I went inside and made my bread, and I didn't have to pay $15 or waste a bunch of cardboard. And she had a bundt pan. But it just is like the impulse to I'll just buy it. Like I'll just, it's cheap and it's easy to get. You lose the micro.
And you're not even going to the store where you might bump into somebody in the aisle or the nice person who runs the store. Nope, you're just going to order on Amazon. I mean, same, but that's part of the problem too.
It just seems easier. But honestly, again, it comes back to we want to help each other. It probably felt really nice for my neighbor to be able to loan me, but it took nothing for her. And she made my day. It made my day so much better. And we just got to have a little connection. It's all little things. It's all little things that add up. And just taking a moment to shift before you make a decision that is in isolation. And to come back to the question about COVID, loneliness was killing us pre-COVID. The research was in. We already knew it was a national health crisis. And then the pandemic came and the fallout, and I'm still a teacher. The fallout is unbelievable. We haven't dealt with it. Like we have lonely kids who don't know how to connect with each other. We have lonely adults who haven't processed what it was like to be in that type of isolation, especially parents. It's devastating. And I think it's going to kill us. I think we really need to address this by taking care.
You talk about kin as a basic human need.
Yeah.
Is it more needed by some people than other people? Amy and I talk about this all the time. Like everywhere I go, I'm like, oh, tell me your life story, cashier lady at the grocery store. Like I have an extreme need to connect with random people. People would describe me as a maximum extrovert kind of. But do I need kin more than somebody who is very introverted and is like, the best thing for them about the pandemic was that they didn't have to talk to anybody anymore?
Margaret, first of all, I really love that about you. And I am so glad you're in the world out talking to everybody. That's wonderful. I think everybody needs kin, but we experience connection differently. And some people really love to talk and have conversations. And by the way, the conversations you're having at the grocery store, I describe those as peripheral kinships. They're important loose ties. Loose ties are more important, or it's more important than we realize. A loose tie is much more likely to lead to a better job for you than a close connection, because it's very difficult to have a close friend or a relative and say, hey, I have a job you can get. We all know about nepotism and, favoritism. But if you know someone in a loose way and they have an opening at a job, they might mention it to you. And that's how these connections get made. That's just one example. Loose ties are really important. And so great that you're building those. And I think they matter a great deal. For the really close ones, not just a friend, but not my blood relative, not my nuclear family, I don't know that we need a ton. And we don't have time for a ton. So as you're listening or, as we're thinking, I bet there are people who come to mind who are 2 or 3 people who you're like, ooh, those people are really, really important to me. And the invitation that I have is can you be as intentional in conversation with those friends as you are with your partner, your romantic partner? We talk to our romantic partner a lot. How are we doing? What are we doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. We keep fighting. Do we need couples counseling? That's typical, especially as we have kids. With our friends, there's a lot of looseness. I have to cancel plans, no problem. That's great. But if your partner cancels plans with you, it's like, why am I not important to you? Like, why don't you prioritize me? And the suggestion is like, can we put a little less pressure on our partners who, okay, that's a lot to be a partner, and ask a little bit more of ourselves in our friendships, and to say, hey, I'm really committed to this relationship and I want to talk to you about it. I want to talk about like, what does that mean? And I realize I'm worried about asking you for help because I know you're spread really, really thin, and I don't want to ask you for help when I know you're spread thin, but I want to get there with you. So like, what are some ways that you like to spend time together? How do you like to connect? If you like to connect by talking, fantastic. But I have friends who we like to read in the same room together. We don't like to. I am an introvert and I would prefer to be quiet. However, I've also never lived alone. And when I am alone, I'm like, how do people do this? This is awful. You just need to be around people. When I'm alone, I am eating chips naked for every meal. When I'm with other people, like I'm cooking and I'm clothed. Like I am a better version of
those basic things. We're talking to Sophie Johnson, the author of the new book, Kin, The Future of Family, and we'll be right back.
My favorite skincare products actually feel more like self-care, like they're so nice to put on and they smell so good that I'm actually happy when I get to that part of my day. And I swear that is how I feel about Osea's anti-aging body balm.
Amy, you are usually the lotions and potions queen on this podcast, but I have to say, hard agree.
Osea's anti-aging body balm is a liquid silk body balm that combines the lasting hydration of a lotion with the firming power of a serum, leaving skin smoother and firmer.
This body balm is clinically tested and designed to deliver visible results you can see and feel.
So we've gotten to use this product for a couple of months now, and I swear I have really noticed firmer and smoother skin, like on the back of my hands. It's like getting a mini spa treatment from head to toe.
Get a spring-worthy glow with clean, clinically tested skincare from Osea. And right now, we have a special discount just for our listeners.
Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code FRESH at OseaMalibu.com.
That's 10% off your first order with code FRESH at OSEAMalibu.com.
All my kids learned to swim when they were little. It was super important to me that they be confident and safe in the water. There was only one problem with that: taking them to swim lessons. I mean, the pools were freezing. There were always cranky adults doing laps right there. And it was definitely not, for any of us, what you would call fun.
Amy, heard. But now there's Goldfish Swim School. Goldfish takes a really thoughtful approach to swim lessons, combining research-based teaching with a warm, kid-friendly environment that actually helps kids thrive in the water.
Every detail at Goldfish is thoughtfully designed to create a golden experience, from shiver-free, warm indoor pools to comfy waiting areas for parents to professionally trained lifeguards on deck.
Goldfish uses an approach called the science of swim play, which combines guided play with proven teaching techniques to help kids learn to swim, build water safety skills, and gain confidence, all at their own pace. Lessons are designed to meet kids exactly where they're at.
If you've been thinking about swim lessons or just wondering where to start, this is a great opportunity. Right now, Goldfish Swim School is offering a waived membership plus your child's first lesson free at participating locations.
Just visit goldfishswimschool.com/free to find a location near you and enroll using promo code FREE.
That's goldfishswimschool.com/free, promo code FREE. Sophie, I wanted to talk about where we started with the idea of chosen family and Friendsgiving. And as you said, things that are becoming much more sort of in the vernacular. We understand what those things are. But I think I'm understanding anew in this conversation that I think I have perceived those gestures as stopgap measures. You need a Friendsgiving when you're in a new town and you don't know anybody yet. You have chosen family when you're not partnered and or don't have children.
Or your family of origin stinks, right?
Or your family of origin stinks, right. There's substitutes for,
the real
to
thing.
use a loaded term, the real thing. That's right. But if you have a partner and kids and in-laws a half hour away and, nice people you see every day at preschool drop-off, like, you're good. You don't need to be doing chosen family or Friendsgiving. That's for other people. I think your book is sort of an offering of, no. This is work that's important for all of us and available. There's none of us that couldn't improve our kinships.
Well, here's what I'd say. I'd say if you are partnered with kids, you're seeing people at daycare, you got your in-laws half an hour away, you go to bed at night and you're like, I feel good. I don't think my life is too hard and I'm experiencing ease. I don't feel stretched thin. I'm fine. Then like, great. What you're doing is working. I'm so happy for you. I am yet to meet a person who is in like a nuclear family with kids who feels like that. I find that we all, like everyone I talk to, how are you doing? Oh, like the world is a lot right now, or like, hanging on. I'm really stressed, but like I'm good. I'm fine. And if that's the default, okay, well, you're not okay. Like you need more and less, like simultaneously more and less. When your friendships are work and you're having to like make a lot of plans and it just feels like one more thing on your plate, that's what I'd like to adjust. And I think there's some work on the front end of that, which is conversations with your friends, thinking really intentionally about like who is beating your needs and who is really sucking things from you. This is a lot of like work on the front end that I've to write about in this book. And then it spills into this really easeful, lovely, chosen family. I think most people need more than just their partner and their kids. We have a lot in the book about caretaking our elders, and that's really tricky too. Becomes so much to be caretaking. And there's like mutual care that is available to you now. It's just not something we prioritize or see modeled. An example is I have a kin who over the past year has just started texting. My boundary is like, you need to do it before 5 p.m. But she just starts texting, can I come to dinner? She does it like twice or 3 times a week. And it's not hard. We add a little more to my husband and I love cooking. We cook every night and dinner is clockwork. It's 6:30 every single night, no matter what. It does not take much to add a little bit more. That's just our like strength.
That's so nice. Yeah.
Our house is a wreck, but we love to cook and we love to eat. And so she comes over 3 times a week, and then she hates doing dishes, but she will stay after and like clean the living room without asking, just like start sorting and cleaning. Recently, I came downstairs. I hadn't realized she'd stayed and was cleaning. And I was so stressed when I woke up. And I was just like, there's so much to do. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do everything. And I walked into my sparkling clean living room, everything organized and vacuumed. And I just burst into tears. It just was like just how much was taken off my plate by being in a clean space. You know what I'm talking about? Like how a clean space can mean everything. And I couldn't believe that I could have this just because someone came and ate dinner where I was going to make dinner anyway. There's nothing extra really for me to do. And that is what I wish for people is like, she doesn't like to feed herself. I'm so happy to feed her. She liked cleaning my living room. She talked to her mom on the phone for an hour and she didn't like need anything from me. And this is happening a lot. And it felt really nice. So I would love everyone to have a version of that.
Yeah, my sister and her friends do a cleaning club and they all go to each other's houses and clean. The idea is like, we'll clean the thing that you haven't faced because we don't care. It's easy for us to face your stupid closet that you think is the shame of your existence, but we'll just go in and do it. So it feels like there are a lot of opportunities to find that. And the other thing I wanted to click on, which I think is really interesting, is that you say, right, we have these roles. Like, I understand what spouse is to me. I understand what parents are to me. And you talk about doing a cartoon and looking for these new roles. So let's talk through some of these because I thought this is like a connection piece of like, if you're looking for who these people, a chaperomantic partner.
Oh, I like that you're bringing this up. This was a funny pitch that I think will not land. A chaperomantic partner. Oh my God. Okay. That's a person who you will take with you to things.
It's your +1 when you have to do something scary.
There's actually a real word for that in French. It's sortable. It's like, I didn't know that when I made that cartoon, which was years ago, but I learned it when I was writing this book. Other languages have more words for friendship.
Right.
Like,
come on,
English. Like, where the heck? Well, come on, we're behind. But yeah, it's like a person you're not embarrassed to take to offense.
If it's a little scary. You talk about an anytimer person, you can text at 2:30 a.m. a sister or brother, someone who is great at just listening when you have a lot on your mind. Lovian, someone who is very close with your child or pet.
So important, isn't it?
And wasn't the person whose advice you seek and listen to.
Yeah.
This is a process that I think most people go through in a marriage. I'm 18 years in or something to being married. And I'm like, oh, this is a problem for my sister, not my husband. Because he's going to annoy me with his dumb, bad advice. And my sister is going to know right away. We ride at dawn and let's go get the person who did you wrong. Whatever. I know my sister's going to say the right thing. And so some of this kin really resonates for me about identifying the people. Because once you identify them, you can grow those connections, but you have to do the step of who are the people who I wish I could lean on more.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And that's in the intro to the book. That's very much the premise of the book is like, it is that thing where you want your partner to have the exact resources that you need. And that would be so great.
One-stop shopping.
Yeah, if you had if you had a set of needs and then your partner had exactly those things, like as though you're trying to build a chair and they have the hammer and the nails and the wood and exactly the right amount of all of those things. And that is just not how people are. And so our tendency is to be like, I need you to change. Like, I need this from you. I need you to listen to me. I need you to be a person who can just hear me and not try to give me advice. I need you to be different than you are. And people aren't different than they are. You know, we can move a little bit in the direction our partner needs us to move, and that's fantastic. But ultimately, like, you are who you are. My husband is not a person. I really like someone who's going to like connect to my experience and then bring in some new idea. I want that so badly. And he's really good at saying, oh, babe, that sucks. I'm sorry. And it's like, that's great. I'm just like, is that all you have to say? I just talked to you for 25 minutes about this horrible thing going on at work. I mean, it really sucks. I'm so sorry. My impulse would be like, I want you to say other things than that. But actually what I need to do is say, all right, thank you. Thank you for hearing me. I needed to tell Jess. Like, Jess is the person that I talk to, who I connect with or in this way. And he, for example, loves to go to, this is crazy to me, late night hardcore music shows. We have a toddler and he wants to like go out with someone and go to see like a concert that starts at 11. Absolutely not. I will not be doing that. But he has like a little roster of people who he's
a chaperomantic partner that goes
That's
to the...
right. Yeah, right. Exactly. And it's essential that he not say, hey, babe, could you just sometimes meet me where I'm at and like go to these concerts? I mean, yeah, I could, but I'd really rather not. And I'd rather like just do the things that you like that I do. And then you can have somebody else meet that need. So step one, identify what are your needs. What are the things you need to just be your best self? Step two, which of those is your partner meeting? Great. We love them for that. And we're just going to really thank them for that and ask for those things. Step three, where can you get the other stuff? Because you can't get it all at this one place. And then step four, talk to the people from step three. Hey, I noticed that you have a really good relationship with my child. You and my child really get along well. First, I want to say thank you. That's rare. And second, I want to like continue to nurture it and be grateful and ask you what it's like for you. And also think about, what am I doing for you? How is it reciprocal? How are we having a reciprocal friendship, which is typical in a partnership, but not in a friendship.
We've been talking to Sophie Lucido Johnson. Her new book is called Kin, The Future of Family. We will put a link to buy the book on Bookshop in the show notes for this episode. And Sophie, tell our listeners where else they can find you and your work.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I'm Sophie Lucido Johnson on Instagram and also at sophielucidojohnson.com. I have a newsletter where I write about how, you're doing a good enough job just as you're doing right now.
We're
and that's
subscribed.
Thanks. It's on Substack and you can subscribe on my website.
Awesome. The book is Kin. We will link to everywhere you can grab it. And Sophie, thanks so much for talking to us today.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Sophie.
You can't reason with the sun. Trust us, we've tried. This summer, it's time to put that angry ball of fire on mute. Columbia's Omni-Shade technology is engineered to protect you from the sun's harsh rays that can burn and damage your skin. The sun is relentless, but so is our gear. Level up your summer at Columbia.com to spend more time outside and less time slathering on aloe lotion. You're welcome. Columbia, engineered for whatever.